Hi, my name's Ian Hilton. I'm the CMD advisor for the Colchester Episcopal area. The concept I want to share briefly in this video is the concept of radical candour. It's from a book of the same name by Kim Scott. The reason for sharing it is that I think it will be really useful potentially in your relationship with your training incumbent. It will give a focus as you discuss your mutual expectations together and how to actually balance that relationship and how hard you're pushed within the curacy itself. So let's go over to the shared screen, and hopefully this will all make sense if you're not aware of it already. So we'll use the whiteboard. And on the whiteboard, there's the name of the book, Radical Candour by Kim Scott, and it's the familiar X and Y axis. On the X axis is level of challenge, starting from very little challenge at all around the joining point there, and to extreme challenge at this end. And here on the y-axis we have support, so the support that's offered to you in your role from your training incumbent and from the parish and from ourselves. So again, down near the joining point, it's there that there's very little support that you're experiencing, and right at the top here, absolutely amazing and superb support, which is hopefully where we'll all get to. So what is the reason for sharing that? And it's to do with these different ideas as to where you are in this little grid, where you will arrive at any moment in time in your discussions together. So down in, just take this quadrant down here. If you're looking at this quadrant, if you're sitting in that quadrant, you're low on challenge and low on support. And what Kim Scott says the outcome of that is, let's take it across here, is that wonderful word, inertia. There's no incentive to do anything. You're not being challenged and you're not receiving much in the way of support. So inertia sets in. I don't know what you think about in this quadrant here. Here the challenge is extremely high, but again the support levels are very low. And in terms of selecting various things, the word that goes in there is this word, stress. So that's the area that we end up stressed in. That's the area where things become difficult, and that's the area that we want to avoid. In this top left-hand quadrant, high on support, great support in place, but not too much in the way of challenge. And what can happen there, it's a nice place to be. I mean, it's a very comfortable place to be, but maybe it's just a little bit too comfortable. So the word that Kim puts in there is cozy. It's so warm, it's so fuzzy that there's little incentive to really push yourself or go out of your comfort zone. And then, of course, in her thesis, it's this top right-hand quadrant that we should be aiming at. It's here in the top right-hand quadrant that we will have high support, but also high challenge. So we'll be a bit pushed, a bit put out of our comfort zone. It's there that the real engagement and the real learning can take place. You're not shoved out there on your own. You're not left to sink. You're given the support that you need, but also you're not allowed to enter into this sort of rather cozy position. So we'll move that final section across to there. If I can get it across, there we are. Change and growth. So that's the basis of Kim Scott's proposal. That in our relationship with our training incumbent, if we're using it in that situation, that we want to avoid being in that very comfortable but uninspiring situation there with inertia. We want to avoid being well supported but not really challenged, too cozy to move. We definitely want to avoid that quadrant there where we're being highly challenged but not being offered the support that we need, and that is a recipe for stress, and is something that we would want to really talk through and try and change as quickly as possible. But here in this top right hand quadrant, that's where we need to aim to be. So in our conversations with our training incumbents, there needs to be some honesty in that conversation. We need to be able to say whether we feel we are being challenged enough, and we certainly need to be able to say whether we feel we're supported enough. So I offer that to you, and I hope that it will be of some help for you going forward.